Hello, 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 hello? Hello. Okay, I am back with yet another live stream, everyone. We are here to cover the severe threat that is impacting Kansas, Nebraska, and Colorado. This event looks like it looked like it was going to be more of a tornadic event initially, but now it's transitioning more into that high wind threat. So that's what we're generally expecting on the downstream of this, but we're still expecting some tornadoes to develop and still a strong tornado threat to an extent. We still have to watch these storms for potential development with tornadoes and with a very damaging wind sequence. There is an enhanced risk for damaging winds. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there was a 30% Sig 1 wind risk. Let me just make sure on that. I just need to make sure on that. Here. Yes, a 30% Sig 1 risk for winds, specifically in the Salina, Kansas, Manhattan, Kansas, Garden City, Kansas, Hayes, Kansas, and Junction City, Kansas area. So that's mostly in western to central Kansas. You can see it's generally this area right here. Most of Kansas, to be honest. But you can see there is high winds already possible and likely with these systems as they're ongoing right now. There is a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning active, so that definitely goes to show that there's very damaging winds possible with this storm. You can already see the winds on radar, definitely quite a bit. There is some tornadic potential with this. Wait, I need to change the scene. There is some tornadic potential with these winds right over here. Those winds are causing some rotation, and they have produced tornadoes in the past. You can see all of these tornado reports near Atwood, Kansas, right over here. But you can see this storm is also trying to develop as it moves towards the southeast. There is also some pretty large hail with this system, too. You can see it has currently tennis ball size hail. It isn't expected to become larger than that, especially since the hail threat has mostly already materialized. We're expecting this to transition more into a wind threat as time moves on. For the tornado threat, we're not expecting the tornado threat to diminish completely, but we aren't expecting many other storms to form behind this, so it seems like this is our last chance, you could say, for tornadic development. But we're still going to be here, of course, to cover the wind threat. We're still going to be here to cover, of course, the potential tornado threat and strong tornado threat. But either way, here we are covering this severe weather event in Kansas. Let me just change this text, because that is absolutely not true. It was from the previous thing. So, 1 tornado warning is active. I'm just changing this. Okay, there you go. 1 tornado warning is currently active, and a 90. Well, actually, let me make that the 90-mile-per-hour wind warning, because that's the priority, it seems. I don't know why it says 90-mile-per-hour wind warnings, but okay. There you go. Wait. Sorry, I'm just trying to perfect this. Okay. So 90-mile-per-hour wind warning is currently active. You can see that right over here. There's 90-mile-per-hour winds possible at the storm near Atwood, so please be in your shelter if you are in this area, specifically near Achilles, where those winds are most heavily impacting. So if you live near Achilles, there also is that, of course, stronger rotation just southwest of Achilles. So that, of course, could also cause some damaging tornado threat. And speaking of which, they did just reissue the tornado warning on that tornado threat with this supercellular hybrid type storm at this point. So there still is a tornado threat with this, but there's also a 90-mile-per-hour wind threat. So both are very dangerous. Both you need to be in your safe spot for equal reasons there. You need to be in the lowest, most interior room of your building or some sort of sturdy shelter. If you live in a mobile home, get out and basically just move to a sturdier shelter into the most interior room of that sturdier shelter, which can either be above the basement, if there is no basement, or in a basement. And, of course, the room has to be as separated from the outside world as possible. If you were to walk through walls, if you walk through any of the walls, and one of those walls was leading you to the outside, then that room is not safe, and you have to move to a room where all the walls don't lead you to outside in close proximity to it. So that's what you gotta do. And if you don't have any really interior rooms, what you gotta do is go into the bathtub and place some sort of sheltering material above you, specifically like a mattress or some sort of hard-shelled material that would protect you from damage. On the outside, not like hard-shelled towards you, of course, because that would hurt you. But we'll see what comes of the storm. Let's see if we can get any cameras on this. I don't think so, because there's not really a lot of cameras in this general area. I don't think so. There is one camera. No, that's not a camera. Wait. What is this? It's a camera-ish. I think these are picture cams, most of them. Not all of them. There's one near Colby that's active. That's actually a camera. So, this kind of shows that there is a storm coming in. I think this would be a useful camera, especially as the storm approaches the Colby area. It's a little bit west-east of it, but it would impact that general area. So I think that would be a good camera that we could call on. This is an 80-mile-per-hour... Colby's under an 80-mile-per-hour wind warning, so I do think this is useful. The problem is, I don't know if this is going to keep pausing every second, or if this is already down. I don't think it's already down, I mean... Is it already down? What? Okay, no, it's not. I don't know, it just wasn't working for a second. But you can see the winds are already intensifying in this region. That's probably due to the outflow boundary the storm is on. The outflow boundary is moving through. I believe that's due. I mean, there might be an outflow boundary here, but it's kind of hard to tell. I don't think there is. I think also this storm is starting to move in and the inflow is getting to it. Because there's also the inflow of this storm combining with the inflow of this storm. So that's kind of merging all of those winds into the center of the storm, and those are going right through Colby. So that's what we're seeing right here. Of course, this is probably going to pause every 2 seconds, so that's annoying, but at least you get the general idea. There's no people sheltering under overpasses, which is bad because the winds, very heavy winds, can get funneled through underpasses or overpasses, and then cause the winds to be even stronger in that general region. So that, of course, is not safe for you at all. You have to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. And make sure to stay away from those overpasses. Well, underpasses from your location. But either way, we have one tornado warning in effect and a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning that goes along with that. You can see all these outflow boundaries are right over here. These are what is causing these storms to fire. So I'm unsure if more storms are going to fire off this outflow boundary. It doesn't look like it, but this outflow boundary, if it's latched onto, could produce some strong tornado potential. Most likely some tornado potential. So that's what we're currently watching. If you hear background noise, that's not my fault. It's just there's like something going on next door, so I can't help that, unfortunately. But just be aware if that appears, it's not meant to like, distract anybody from the severe weather threat. It's meant to mostly just, it's not in my control, so. But I don't know if it's even registering this. You might not even hear it. But still, we have this tornado risk in Kansas, as well as the 90-mile-per-hour wind risk, but we have to continue to watch. And we, of course, still have our camera in Kansas, where the winds are intensifying in Colby, Kansas. You can see the camera shaking a little bit, not too much. Not anything crazy. But you can see the clouds in the distance, definitely showcasing some deteriorating conditions that are approaching this camera. Let me just see if it's going to go directly into the camera. It's going to be a close call. Let me see what this is exactly, actually. I think it was right here. There actually is better cameras a little bit further ahead, because I feel like that's what's going to actually, like, right here is where it's going to actually reach it. Or, like, right here. I don't know why this is looking at the floor. I mean, actually, this is kind of helpful, because you can see the grass moving, but I don't know. I feel like that's not super helpful. Yeah, I don't know why these are pointed. Oh, maybe these cameras were, like, struck down by wind or something. Yeah, that's possible. These winds must have been, like, moved towards the ground, so they might have to be repositioned up. We'll see what happens with them. But yeah, going back to our radar, you can see some 90-mile-per-hour winds are possible, or likely even, with the storm near Achilles. They are moving towards the south-southeast. Yeah, let's see. There's also a lot of winds over here near Goodland. I feel like these are a lot of winds. I'm not sure if that's from a thunderstorm. Let me see what that's from. That might be from the outflow boundary in this region, because there is an outflow boundary that's moving westward. There might be some air advection into the outflow boundary. Like, inflow, basically, from these storms forming on the outflow boundary. So that might be what's causing that. That's okay. That's probably non-thunderstorm related wind, but I'm unsure if they would slap a severe thunderstorm warning on that. They have done it in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a 60 or 70 mile per hour wind warning. But we are still watching these storms from the Goodland radar. You can see the tornado threat has decreased a little bit with this storm. You can see there's not as powerful of winds, especially on the latest radar scan. They're a little bit more broad. Like, the reds aren't as powerful, you can see that. But also, it's a little bit more spread apart. The very intense white winds from the red winds. White winds are winds moving towards the radar, and red winds are the winds moving away from the radar. So you can see there is a separation of those winds, so they're not as close together, and you can see there's a little bit of a gap between them, which means a tornado isn't really consolidated right now. But we're still watching it. It could still produce a tornado at any moment. It is tornado warned. What is this? I think that's just hail. It's a little weird to tell. I think that's just hail. Oh, it's just inflow, actually. I thought it was hail, but it's actually just inflow. So that's nothing. Inflow is just a type of contamination. There's a fly in here. That's my bad. Welcome everybody that's tuning in. We are currently watching a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning in Kansas, just south of the Nebraska border. It is in northern Kansas currently, encompassing Oberlin, Atwood, and Achilles. So we still have a tornado risk in this area too. You can see that on the radar, even though I'm unsure. I think this would be the main area of rotation that we would have to look at. Like, that is what's producing the hook. You can see there is some rotation right here, but I feel like that's within the storm. I feel like the main rotation we should be focusing on is right here, but that's not really producing any significant rotation right now. So I'm unsure if that really deserves a warning. I think it does, but it's a little hard to tell right now, because especially since it's so messy, the presentation, and there's a bunch of inflows going on from all of these storms. Like, you can see there's an inflow going into this storm, there's an inflow going into this storm, there's an inflow going into this storm, and all of the outflow boundaries as well. So it's a very confusing picture right now, but we'll work our way through it. The Goodland Radar is doing a pretty good job at accurately depicting what's going on right now. So you can see we did just get a severe thunderstorm warning in Sharon Springs. This is mostly for just winds. There isn't really a lot of big thunderstorms with this. You can see, let me look at the different tilts, because if you look at the different tilts, then you can see these aren't really tall thunderstorms. They are slightly tall, but they're definitely more elevated than tall, I would say. So, like, they're not, like, reaching to the ground so much. You look at this radar, maybe. You can still see it a little bit. So these are tall storms, but they're mostly elevated. And that kind of shows that the wind threat is going to persist with these and not a tornado threat. Especially since with how low these reflectivity values are. So there's also not going to be much of a hail threat either, it seems. That's what it's looking at now, like right now. There also is pretty strong winds with this storm. It is 70-mile-per-hour wind warned. This is in Nebraska. You can see there's a big line developing here near Loop City. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Or Loup City. I'm pretty sure it's Loop City. And Greeley Center. But that's not under severe thunderstorm warning. It's mostly outside of those biggest winds. You can also see there's a bunch of 70-mile-per-hour wind warnings in eastern Wyoming right now. And that is also contributing to a lot of 70-mile-per-hour wind warnings. Let me see. You can see it on the radar. You can't see it that well, but this is kind of in a radar hole, so it's kind of hard to see what's going on in the surface. You can see a little bit of winds near Guernsey. That's about it. Still have a tornado warning in effect, and no longer a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning. So now we just have an 80-mile-per-hour wind warning, which is still dangerous. You still need to be in your safe spot for that. But definitely not as concerning as what was before. Still, 80-mile-per-hour wind can cause a lot of damage. So please be in your safe spot for that. But you can breathe a slight sigh of relief. Looking back at our camera. Is this camera still facing the floor? Let me see. This might still be facing the floor. Or, well, it's not the floor, it's the grass, but you get the point. Yeah, it's still looking at the floor, or the grass, or whatever it is. This camera, I think, is still good. Even though this is going to be west of most of the winds, it seems. Even though there actually is more wind developing over here. So we might see some winds move into the Colby area very soon. So this camera might be good to see those strong winds with the system. Not the tornadic part, but I don't know. I feel like this doesn't really have much tornadic potential right now. You can see there's no really consolidated area of rotation right now. It's still looking like an interesting storm, no doubt. But it's not really consolidating any big rotation, as what I can see right now. From what I can see. So we currently have a severe thunderstorm watch and a tornado watch. In effect, 2 severe thunderstorm watches, actually. There's one near Garden City and one up here near Casper, Wyoming. And Cheyenne. I don't know why I just made the radar do that, but it's besides the point. Man, these winds are getting stronger. I can tell. We are back to a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning. So, that sigh of relief that he just said, just take it back. Because we are back to a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning. This has 90-mile-per-hour winds in it again. Okay, not 980-mile-per-hour winds, but 90-mile-per-hour winds. So, I think that would be pretty dangerous if it was 980, but it's not. It's not. Don't worry. So 90-mile-per-hour wind warning is active. Please go to your safe spot, which is the most interior room of your home or some sort of storage shelter, and get out of those trailer homes. There's mobile homes. That's the word. It's heading right towards Colby, these winds. Did I say a tornado was still... Yeah, I'm saying a tornado is still on the ground. Let me just change that. Okay, there you go. That works. Looking back at our radar, very strong winds currently heading up towards Rexford, specifically. This is definitely transitioning into more of a windstorm at the moment. I'm not seeing much tornadic potential right now, but we'll see if that changes. We still are in the tornado watch right now. We'll see if any of these other storms also have tornado potential. I don't think they do, but... Speaking of which, we could check on our environment. Let's see if this environment is still prone to seeing some strong winds in the future. Maybe some tornadoes, we'll see. Let's go to the homepage and then this. So over here, you can see there is quite a bit of wind shear. That might also contribute to the winds. But you can see there's a big epicenter of wind shear right over here. So there is potentially a big tornado potential where these 75 knots of wind are in the upper atmosphere of wind shear, bulk shear. And the SRH is also massive in this area. You can see 500 SRH, but mostly 400 SRH ahead of these systems. You can also check the Cape. Cape isn't bad, but of course behind this line is where the Cape kind of gets worse. It's not horrible behind this line. You can see this little storm right here is in more of a capped environment. That's the main reason why we haven't seen strong tornadoes, probably because we're still in a capped environment. But it honestly looks like the environment out ahead is better for tornadoes. But it probably will mostly be a wind threat too, with this how this line is congealing at the moment. Mid-level lapse rates also pretty good, but you can see, I think these mean that that's either a capped environment or like, I'm unsure exactly what that means. I'm pretty sure that means like these aren't useful to like tornadic development. So that's what we're seeing right now in this tornado watch area. Still have some tornado potential, still have some wind potential. That's going to be the main potential, it seems. Especially with this 90-mile-per-hour wind warning. I do notice that there is a tiny bit of rotation increasing here, but let me just check if that's in the inflow. It's hard to tell. The Wi-Fi's kind of slow down here, just so you know. I'm in a different room than I usually am. Now, that is in the reflectivity, actually. So, this could be potentially a developing tornado as it approaches down towards Rexford. An embedded tornado is possible with this. Yeah, you can see that continues to strengthen. Right here is where the strongest rotation is. Right over here. And what road is that? Let me just see what road it's near. I guess these roads don't have names. Weird. Well, the closest road I can find a name for is County Road 465. So it's heading towards the 465 County Road area of Kansas. I don't know what county this is. I'm pretty sure this is, what is this? Rawlins County. But it's heading towards Decatur County. I think that's where the actual county road is, in Decatur County. Or, no, this is Decatur County. Okay, wait. Let me just check this. So this is in Rawlins County. And then... Okay, so this is Sheridan, I think. No, this is Thomas. Okay, there's a lot of counties here. It's heading into Thomas, which is where Rexford is. Thomas County is where Rexford is. But yeah, I did notice that increase in rotation on the latest scan. So we're still watching the storm. It could still produce a tornado embedded within the line. We're still watching that potential. But there also is a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning active. So even if there isn't a tornado that develops, we still need to be aware that these are dangerous winds, and they could cause very intense damage to your home. Maybe not to your home, but like maybe get some roof shingles off, potentially throw things around, potentially cause some damage to be thrown at you or stuff like that. So please make sure you're careful, because these are strong winds, basically equivalent to a small tornado. We still have the severe thunderstorm warning in Utah, too. This is currently producing 60-mile-per-hour winds. It used to be producing 70-mile-per-hour winds. I don't know why the warnings keep going like this. I don't know why it turned half of the alerts off or something. Okay, I guess I didn't. I don't know. No, I don't really know what's going on right now. It's just not showing all the warnings. But either way, we do have the 60-mile-per-hour wind warning in Utah. Severe thunderstorm warning. Yeah, the Wi-Fi's really slow down here. I'm sorry, guys. The problem with the Wi-Fi down here, I don't know. I couldn't find the password for it, so just bear with me for a second. But this is producing 60-mile-per-hour winds. I can tell on the radar. Okay, we're back. You can see it right here. That was just a brief moment, I think. I'm not sure if it's registering the music in the background. If it is, I'm sorry. I can't help it. So. But we still have this one tornado warning in effect. You can see this is a very weird inflow right now. You can see it's like zigzagging towards the storm, so it's not really that favorable for a tornado at the moment, especially with this zigzaggy type of inflow. Yeah, you can see it's kind of causing the rotation to dissipate a little bit. There's still this little thing right here, but it's very, very low in rotation, generally. So I do think the rotation is beginning to deteriorate, but it could be cycle, especially on the leading edge of this. The winds are definitely heading into Colby now, where the 90-mile-per-hour wind warning is in effect. So let's check on our camera right now. Where probably heavy winds are starting to come. Oh, yes, you can see it's definitely darker in this region, more foggy, for sure. Don't know why that car's moving so fast in these winds if they're really 60 or up a higher mile per hour. I mean, I guess most people are. It doesn't seem like that bad of winds so far, but it is beginning to rain. So the storm is coming. It is approaching. You can see there's also quite a bit of hail in this system too. Especially on the western side. Northwest of Colby. There's like how much are the DBZ values for that? Let me just see. There's probably like 77 dBz for that, so that's probably some like 2-inch hail or more. But I don't know how the radar perceives hail in this case. We're still watching a few storms over here near the Denver area that are kind of forming off of a boundary, but it doesn't look like they're doing much right now. Not anything concerning with rotation or anything like that. It seems like the most of the threat has moved over here in this Kansas cluster. Right over there, heading to the south-southwest. Once again, guys, if you have a question or anything like that on the severe weather that's coming to your area or any of your friends' areas, please let me know. Now my dog is barking upstairs. So this is not a very fun environment for me, but we persist. We continue through. Probably hear him up there. Yeah, this has turned into a very small tornado warning right now. You can see it right here. It still exists, but I imagine they're gonna take it away in just a moment, because the inflow here is just not favorable for tornadic development. It's getting blocked off. It's mostly a windstorm right now, which is still bad. We don't want it to become any stronger than this, even though it's still pretty strong and still could do damage. Let's check on our camera again. This is what we're seeing. The winds are starting to pick up a little bit. Sorry, there's a fly. Still have a bit of a phobia, but it's not that bad. Just didn't know if it was a mosquito or not. So here's what we're generally seeing across the US right now. It's mostly centered in this area. Let me get rid of the warnings. And the SPC outlook. Now, there's still some warnings, but that... But you can see it here. There's still a lot of storms currently in this general region, the area highlighted on my thumbnail also. There is also supposed to be some storms in Florida. There was, with some severe warnings down here, but they've mostly disintegrated at this point. It's mostly this region that we're focusing on. Kansas, western Kansas. Oh, of course I wasn't in full screen for that. I don't know what I'm talking about. Is this rotation trying to develop again? Not really. I don't think that's rotation, because that's like in the middle of the storm now. This is the new inflow right here. So we'll see if something develops like right over here. Something like a little hook. Maybe like this. Let's see. couldn't be any louder right now. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, our tornado warning is now gone. So let me change my thing. My title. Tornado warning is now officially over. So there we go. Still have our full tornado watch in effect, so I'm unsure if they're expecting storms to fire, specifically in this area. I'm unsure. There are some storms in that region, but they're really not looking good in terms of reflectivity. It's looking like these storms were the main concern, and probably still are, especially with the winds. But maybe not so much for tornadoes anymore. Alright, let's see if anything new has developed with our camera. You can see they have their brights on, especially since it's starting to rain. It's not looking too bad in terms of winds right now. Let me see the radar. Hell, it's really not that bad, the winds over there. Yeah, and most of the winds are staying off to the north. They're not really moving that much. They're moving a little bit to the south-southeast, but if we were to look at where the winds are moving, it's probably closer to Grinnell. So we'll look there, I guess. Over here. You can see there definitely is some fog in the distance, so definitely a murky storm coming up. Is there only 70-mile-per-hour winds possible with this now? We might be done with a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning. That is strange. I did not know that was going to happen. Okay, so we have no more 90-mile-per-hour winds with the storm, apparently. It's still looking interesting. Let me see if it has weakened at all. I mean, I haven't really seen a weakening trend. It's just kind of condensing into one area like this near Rexford. But it does look like it's staying in the same place for the most part, so I guess I sort of agree with it. It doesn't really matter if I agree with it or not. It's still a 70-mile-per-hour wind warning in the end. So you don't have to be in your safe spot anymore if you live in Colby or maybe Rexford, but definitely not Colby. You can be indoors and away from windows and doors, but you don't have to really be in your safe spot. Maybe close to it, but not really be in it. You don't have to be in it right now, especially with the conditions ongoing. So let me change this. There's also no tornado warnings active, so that's cool. There you go. So you currently have a 70-mile-per-hour wind warning active. Still a couple of other storms around this, but not too much going on right now, I will admit. We still do have those winds possible in the Wexford area, and they could be above 70 miles per hour. Definitely, especially with how it's starting to become widespread. You can see it in this little arc shape. It's approaching Wexford. Let me just play it out for you just to show the history of it. It's generally moving in this direction. Like this. Sam, we don't have much going on right now, but we'll see if new developments occur. There is some winds starting to form west of Colby. We'll see if they upgrade this back. Because it does still seem like there's some strong winds. But I can see it has weakened a tiny bit on the latest few scans. I mean, not that much, but I can see a slight weakening trend. So we'll see what happens with this. Definitely still some potential for tornadic activity as well as some strong winds. And over here in Nebraska, still 60-mile-per-hour winds possible moving towards Grand Island. We also do have a severe thunderstorm warning still in northwestern Pennsylvania. This has been here for a while, I think. See these nice gravity waves over here. That's just indicating that something's in the way of the radar, I think. Or, like, something. I don't... Wait. I forget what gravity waves are sometimes. That's my fault. Well, whatever. They're gone now. You can see a storm right here. Storm right here. These are not tornadic in any way. So, they're just developing storms. You can see some in Ohio, too. It looks like we did just get a flash flood discussion. Oh, wait, that's been there for a while. Never mind. But there is potential for flash flooding in this region, especially since we do have a flash flood warning already for Atwood, especially with all this rain traveling down to the south. You can see this is trying to get an inflow back. Like this inflow right here. It's trying to get an inflow back, but I think it's going to ruin that as well. We just haven't seen a lot of tornadic potential with the storm in a while. Even though there's this little storm right here. This is interesting. There's a bit of rotation over here near Levant. So I wouldn't be surprised if that develops anything. I don't think that's a CC drop. That's probably just some hail. Okay, we're back to 90-mile-per-hour winds. 90-mile-per-hour winds are once again possible with the storm, or likely with the storm, especially since the warning indicates it. They probably just had to take a while to reissue it, but we are back to 90-mile-per-hour winds. .90-mile-per-hour winds are once again active. Probably changed it too soon at this point. It does look like that storm near Levant has kind of weakened now. It was like a brief area of rotation you saw there briefly, like right here. But now it kind of disappeared, and it's kind of transferring over to that rotation over there. So definitely not as much concern there, but we still have the concern for 90-mile-per-hour winds currently in this region. Over here in Colby. Let's look back at our camera. Looking back at our camera, this is not the Colby camera, but this is rather a camera further south towards Oakley. I think we should look towards Colby again, because there probably is some stronger winds at least. heading in that general direction. This isn't really loading. Wi-Fi is once again slow. Is this down? Wait. I don't know. It could be down, but it's hard to tell. Let me try this again. It might be down. That's possible. Let me see this. This also looks like it might be down because, I mean, it looks all fucked up. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, this camera's still working, so I might as well still use it. There is some winds. You can see the trees are moving a little bit with the winds. So definitely still something in that region. It's not as strong as what we're seeing further up north, but definitely still some strong winds developing with this inflow that's heading into the storm eventually. You know, the minute they issued that... Okay, wait. I completely forgot to notice that there's a tornado warning active, so that was my bad. There is a tornado warning active for Rexford, Selden, and Menlo, nearing Hoxie. So this area is under a tornado warning. You can see there is development of an area of rotation, most likely over here, right over Rexford. So that is moving to the south-southeast. And you have to be aware of that. You have to be aware of deteriorating conditions as this continues to cycle down towards the south-southeast. Still a tornado risk. Jeez. So slow, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they warn this either. It looks interesting. I mean, let me see if it matches up with reflectivity. It does, but it's kind of in a weird spot. I mean, I've seen tornadoes develop from this kind of circulation before. It's a little weird, I will admit, though. I'll watch that storm. It looks a little weird. It might just be inflow. But this still deserves a tornado warning at the moment. It's heading right over Rexford. You can see this area of rotation right here. I mean, let me just check if we have any cameras in Rexford. We don't really. We have one nearby, but it's not really quite in Rexford, so it's just good enough. What on earth? Okay, I was so confused for a second. I thought, like, the highest warning was, like, a fire weather watch or something. A red flag warning, but I don't know what it's doing, honestly. Jeez. We are also looking at some tropical sides of things. We do have Tropical Storm Mekala in the Western Pacific, but we don't really cover that area. I mean, if it impacted Guam, I guess we would cover that because that's part of the U.S., but it's not really impacting that region. And there's nothing active in the Atlantic right now, so Good point. Okay, so here, let me see the name for the Philippines. We're talking about Tropical Cyclone Mekala. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know the Philippine name. Let me just see that real quickly. Yeah. Let me see this. Where are we? Huh. How do we know what's already been done? I don't know where it is. Okay, there it is. It's called Severe Tropical Storm Francisco right now. Severe Tropical Storm Francisco. So that's what we're currently watching over there. Alright, we do have a new mesoscale discussion for eastern Nebraska as parts of eastern Kansas right now. Let's see it. It's looking like mostly a wind and hail threat, but we'll see if anything else happens. I think it's just going to be the wind and hail threat. Syria is being monitored for a possible watch. 40% chance of watch issuance. Let's see this hailstorm. It's looking more like a hailstorm with every moment, but I think it's mostly just a windstorm at the moment. So I don't know if it can transition from wind to hail, but I don't know if it ever does it in reverse. But yes, we are still watching this tornado warning. If there is any tropical development, I'll go over it in my next video. So. Pretty sure there would be some outlook for the Eastern Pacific. Just move this up. I can't move it up anymore, actually. Can't see my whole hair. We did just get a severe thunderstorm warning in West Virginia. Not looking like too much, but still a storm, nevertheless. Why is this so behind? What? Is this where they're down? Okay, never mind. I don't know what it's doing. But yeah, it seemed like that storm was actually stronger before, and it just never was severe warned, so that's interesting. Still a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning in effect. just see this. Yeah, 20%. Yeah, let me look it up on here. I mean, we'll go over more of the tropical stuff when we get to the video over here. Just, this is what I was saying. Right here. But there you go. You saw it on the small screen, but you know, it was still there. So we do still have a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning in effect. This is moving towards Rexford, and there still is a tornado warning corresponding to it. It's not looking as concerning as what it was before the tornado warning, in fact. But we still have some 90-mile-per-hour winds over there. We still have some 60-mile-per-hour winds heading towards Goodland and just west of Brewster. And Colby's kind of in the gap of all this, but you guys are probably going to get some winds. I would assume like 60 miles per hour as well. But the main winds over here are towards Wexford and heading south-southeast towards the west of Hoxie. Mainly towards Menlo at the moment. And this will eventually head towards Grinnell and Grainfield. That general area. But I think we are going to end it here soon, mostly because there isn't... I mean, not yet, because there is still a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning active. We'll see if there's any more tornado... Okay. Maybe we're not ending, because there is a tornado right now. A tornado was confirmed, and there is softball-size hail possible with the storm. Softball size. This is definitely a concern, especially to your pets that are being left outside, especially to any lawn equipment that's being left outside, anything that's outside or that can penetrate through windows. This is definitely a concerning storm if there is, in fact, softball-sized hail with it. So definitely be aware of that. Go into your safe spot, especially with the 90-mile-per-hour winds as well, and the observed tornado. So basically, everything is telling you to get into your safe spot if you live in this area, which I imagine not a lot of people live in. The only place that is shown on this radar is Seguin. Seguin is the only real place that is within this tornado warning. So every indication is telling you to get into your safe spot. So please get into the most interior room of a sturdy building and make sure that you stay there until this tornado warning is lifted. Get away from any mobile homes. Get away from any windows. Get away from any contact with the outside world. Just make sure you are safe. But yeah, we still have an observed tornado warning active. It was confirmed by emergency management, so that's what's going on. That's who confirmed it. But we're not seeing any definitive CC drop right now. We're just seeing some scattered CC, but it's really not indicating much right now. So that's what we're generally seeing. Sorry about that. Still see a potential for softball-sized hail in this storm, too. You can see that hail core right over here. This definitely is a storm for all hazards right now. I don't know why I clicked on reflectivity twice. But yes, we still have a tornado risk with the storm. We still have a very intense wind risk with the storm. 90-mile-per-hour winds are possible. We still have softball-size hail, 4-inch in diameter hail. Still looking to see if there's any other warnings that we should be concerned with, but there is that tornado warning with an observed tornado on the ground. So let me actually change this. Let's see if we can get a camera again. Let's see this camera. There's still some pretty strong winds over here near Oakley. It's not really quite there in Oakley yet, but you can see it is approaching. This is where the camera's generally at, and the winds are heading towards that region. Not the strongest winds. The strongest winds that are like 90 miles per hour are kind of condensing into one small part. So I don't think this is going to impact Colby at all. Maybe a little bit with these winds. I'm not sure if those winds are even thunderstorm related. Let me see. They kinda are, but they're mostly part of the inflow. But these winds definitely could impact towards Hoxie and Grinnell. So those areas need to be worried down the line. Well, not worried, but like, you know, concerned with strong winds in the future. Still an observed tornado warning. Tornado on the ground. Still doing a lot of stuff on my end. Just give me a second. Okay, let me change the scene again. Some windy conditions over here in Oakley along I-70. So, this is under the 90-mile-per-hour wind warning, so I would still be in your safe spot if you live in this area. Okay, well, technically, Oakley itself is under the 80-mile-per-hour wind warning that was just issued, but this exact camera is part of the 90-mile-per-hour wind warning, so this is still something to be concerned about. Even if it is 80-mile-per-hour winds, it's still something to be concerned about. So please be in your safe spot with that. There's not really much else going on besides the windstorm right now. Doesn't seem like it. There, of course, still probably is a tornado risk right now. But it's starting to deteriorate, especially as these storms congeal more into a line. I'm unsure if anything more is going to develop off these boundaries. Don't know why it keeps doing that. I'm not sure what this radar is saying. Still observe this tornado warning, so still be in your safe spot for it. It's really hard to tell if there's a CC drop on this, of course, but still definitely be in your safe spot for this because this is still on the ground. I think this is from the same report as earlier from emergency management, actually. So that's interesting. Like right over here. Does look like this rotation is trying to redevelop a little bit as it moves to the south-southeast, but it's kind of broad at the moment. You can see it's in between Menlo and Hoxie and heading towards Seguin, but it's kind of in the middle of the storm. I'm unsure if I can trust that, but we'll see. We'll see how it ends up. This is now on for 70-mile-per-hour winds near the Goodland and Burlington area. That's a horrible circle. Near the Goodland and Burlington area right over here. So be aware, don't be in your safe spot yet, but be close to it so you can get to it at any moment. There's a little storm over here. Not gonna do much, I don't think. Fast CC drop. Looks like it, but I don't think it is. It's hard to tell, obviously. And this scan is 2 minutes behind, so well, looking at the newest scan, you could see it a little bit, I guess. It could be, but it's really hard to tell, especially with this mess of a system. It's still a mess. Let's see if our camera's showing anything again. It's looking towards the other way now. Northwest, I guess towards the winds at this point. But the problem is we can't see any trees or anything like that to, like, give us a good understanding of what the winds are like, so that's important. But you can see they're heading into the winds, so there are the hazards on. Just to prevent anything from happening. But yes, we still have this one tornado warning in effect. Right over here, near Hoxie. Moving towards the southeast. Towards, in between Grinnell and Grainfield, probably, most likely. Did just get the new scan in. Let me see if we can see more of a definitive debris ball. I don't think we can, yeah. It's really hard to see. I mean, this could be something, but we just have no idea. It could just be part of the hail core. It's a very messy situation. You can see this, I think, as a hail spike or some sort of hail core contamination. So, I'm pretty sure... I don't know if we have a tornado still on the ground. I mean, we would have to see eyes for it. We have to see if there's any reports of it. So that's the unfortunate thing. But that's what we're currently looking at. Currently looking at some cameras as well. In this general region. In the Oakley area. Where it's just west of where this tornado warning is heading towards. But we'll see if they extend this as an observed or some sort of warning. Tornado warning, I meant. We'll see how they extend this. Did my stream just go down? Is my Wi-Fi better? Sorry guys, if I'm buffering, just realize that I'm in a bad Wi-Fi environment, so... Just realize that. So they did just severe warn the storm west of Hyannis, it seems. Yeah, they did just severe warn this. Is this right? Yeah. So, the storm can potentially pick up some winds, and also have some hail. You can see the hail core right here near Alliance and Hyannis. So, just be aware as this continues to move. In what direction? To the east. To the east right there. We still have a tornado warning active down here in Kansas and a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning. Is this? Did I just see 100-mile-per-hour winds? Thought I did, but I don't think so. I think we're okay. But yeah, we still have that tornado warning in effect. I mean, there's not really much I can say about it. I mean, I can look for more cameras. You can still see over here. It's now pointing towards a different direction at this point. This camera. But we can still watch it. See there's some lightning in the background. It honestly doesn't seem like there's that big of winds, though. So, let me see exactly where this camera is positioned. It's positioned, like, right here. And there is some winds, but I think the winds are still yet to come. And it's not really the main amount of winds yet. The main winds are of course, heading towards Hoxie. Did they just update this? I think they did. Did they? No. I don't know. It just, like, glitched for a second. Still very slow right now. Let me see. Something else was better. Just gonna see what it was. Not sure if this is gonna work either. There is some apparently like 80-mile-per-hour wind reports in several places. So that's very interesting. But of course none of these places are Kansas yet. There probably is gonna be some sort of situation in Kansas that develops from all these winds. We'll see. Don't know why this goes. I don't know what's going on. But yes, we still have that tornado warning in effect. We still have a potential for 100 to 125 mile per hour tornadoes as of the latest mesoscale discussion. We still have the potential for up to 100 mile per hour winds. Right over here, probably heading towards this area. I mean, it would go off the screen too. But Grinnell and Grainfield and Park are in the main areas that should be understanding that they should be getting to your safe spot, especially since you're under a 90 mile per hour wind warning at the moment. Still have an observed tornado warning, and it's now being extended as a radar-indicated warning towards the Grinnell, Grainfield, and Park area. So this is still potentially a tornado on the ground. We're not sure that it's a tornado on the ground anymore, but we're still giving it the potential to produce a tornado at any moment. So therefore, Grinnell, or just areas north of Grinnell, have to be in their safe spot. Like some of these streets, you can see north of Grinnell, like 5th Street and 3rd Street should be in their safe spot at this point, because they are under the tornado warning. You can see that system right here. This big cluster of storms that's heading from Goodland all the way to Gov City. Man, these winds are intense. These winds are really getting strong. I don't know if they're like that strong actually. I think the radar is just glitching out, but it does indicate that there is some strong winds in this region, so wouldn't be surprised if they upgraded this warning soon. Maybe not. I think 90-mile-per-hour winds is good for this case. It's a little close of a call, but I think it's still good for this case. New SBC outlook comes in 40 minutes, so we'll see what they do. I imagine not too much will change. Maybe they'll get rid of the 5% tornado risk, but it's still looking interesting right now, so I wouldn't say they would get rid of it yet. We'll see. See that velocity still indicating some very strong winds. Well, I think that's the same scan, actually, so... A lot of tornadoes, a lot of wind reports in this general area. Still very hard to tell what's going on in CC, so we would have to see some sort of ground report. These winds are still looking tense. I mean, of course, it's just breaking the radar right now. I mean, that doesn't always indicate that there's very strong winds, but, like, can sometimes, depending on if it's, like, not a terminal radar, so... I wouldn't be surprised if there's some strong winds right now. Saying 90 miles per hour. Maybe it could be upgraded. I'm not saying that, but, like... Could be close. It's a close call. It's around 90 miles per hour. That's what I'm gonna say. Let's go back up to our camera. We were still on the same scene anyways. Let's go back to it. There's some lightning, as you can see. Sorry if I seem a little restless right now. You can see some rain and some lightning at the current moment. But yes, I think they're going to expire this observed tornado warning soon, especially since they continued it as radar indicated. Not sure why that's still there, honestly, but we'll see what happens. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning down here in Georgia, so let's look at that. This is tornado possible, surprisingly. I'm not sure why. It's near Moultrie. I kind of see why. It's kind of doing a bookend vortex thing right here, just southwest of Moultrie. I see why they made a tornado possible, but I don't see any rotation on velocity. So it's one of those cases where they're just doing it to be safe. In Moultrie, I would be not in your safe spot, but close to it. Be indoors, be away from those windows, because this is a little interesting line that's moving through. And it could potentially produce a tornado, but it's kind of hard to see that. I mean, there's a little bit of an inflow on this, but not anything crazy. So I would still be close to your safe spot, but not quite there yet. But yeah, these winds are still there. The winds are definitely still there. The radar braking isn't there anymore, but you can see this is turning more into rotation, honestly. This is turning more into rotation. Like, you can see how widespread these winds were previously. Like, all the way over here. And now, they're just in this tiny little area. So, I'm unsure if that's kind of turning into some rotation. Because that's very interesting, how it's just consolidating like that. So, I'm unsure if that's really going to showcase anything with the tornadic potential. I mean, there is still, of course, a very strong wind potential in this area, but it's definitely consolidating into one area. So, unsure if that means that there's tornado possibility, but it definitely isn't as widespread of a wind threat anymore. I mean, Grinnell and Grainfield should still get it, but it's not as widespread. I don't think it would spread all the way to Oakley at this point. Still have this storm up here near Hyannis. This storm right now is one for ping pong ball size hail. See that little hail color over here? Near Hyannis. Just see if I can do like a 3D thing. This should hail. Can I do that? Okay, yeah, I can. I've never done this before on a live stream. I just really wanted to. But here is the 3D showcase of this. Can't really go further than this. You can see it over here. This is where the hail spike is. Just to the... Looks like the northwest of Hyannis, but no. It's like, you know, it's up in elevation. Well, not elevation. I don't know what I'm saying. Up in the reflectivity. So... But we still have this tornado warning active. It's still a very interesting storm. I'm unsure what this means if it's consolidating like this. Here, wait, we'll let it load. Come on. Oh, yeah, there you go. I mean, it's not as consolidated anymore. I feel like it's kind of going off this side a little bit. So that would head towards Grainfield and Park. I mean, it could still develop rotation. It's still tornado warned, of course. But man, this hail core is still going on. What is this DBZ value? 76 DBZ. So this is still a strong storm when it comes to hail. I'm surprised this isn't warned for anything higher than tennis ball. Well, the tornado warning is warned for baseball size, so I guess that's fine. But yeah, this still has a hail core, so it's really all hazards right now. It's really developing that hail core still. It's very interesting because it's like a hybrid storm right now. It's still not fully a windstorm, but you can see that hail is causing a massive CC drop. Right to the southwest of Hoxie. That hail can cause CC drops as well. It's not always the tornado threat. Still, definitely something to be watching. Especially as the storm continues to strengthen. Partially with that hail core, partially with the wind core. But yes, we still have an 80-mile-per-hour wind warning and a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning active. So I'd be still in your safe spots if you live in this area. Let me just circle it, because it's part of several warnings. Is this warning still active? Wait. Oh. Do we still have that 90-mile-per-hour wind warning? I don't know if we have a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning active anymore. I don't think we do. Okay, so we no longer have a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning. We still have an 80-mile-per-hour wind warning. That's because the winds have mostly consolidated. You can see here. But you can see it also has a very big hail core. And that's why they've upgraded it to a large apple-size hail. Not quite softball size, as it was before. But it's still 3-inch in diameter hail, so still be aware of that. There's still some very big hail in the storm. Still is packing a punch in terms of that hail. It can penetrate through car windows, penetrate, like, towards your pets. If you leave them outside, penetrate towards unobscured objects. So make sure that you are paying attention to that and put everything inside. Because this hail could be something. But the rotation isn't really seeming as great anymore. You can see there's a bunch of contamination over here, but it's still interesting to watch. Those winds are more consolidated right now, so we'll see what happens with that. Meanwhile, going back to our Georgia storm, which was tornado possible before. I'm unsure if it still is. It still is, but I'm still having trouble seeing where this rotation would be. I kind of see some rotation developing back here, but it's really weak. Really weak just south of Moultrie. And there really is no tornado risk in this area, I'm pretty sure. So I would really doubt if anything happens, but we'll see. We'll watch it as it continues to grow. We did just get another mesoscale discussion for Severe Thunderstorm Watch 356. This is the Severe Thunderstorm Watch up in Wyoming and some parts of South Dakota and Nebraska. Let's see what it says. It probably still says some strong winds are possible. Yeah, I mean, it is saying that this will weaken. The overall wind threat will weaken with time, so a new watch is currently not anticipated. So this is what we're currently seeing. The winds are kind of weakening as this continues to move into a less favorable environment. But you can see there's still some winds back here that are kind of moving into a more favorable environment, which this area left behind. So that's interesting to note. But for the most part, those severe thunderstorms are now weakening as the sun goes down. Well, not quite yet in this area. It's like 6:30 in this area, or the Wyoming area, yeah. But yeah, let me change this because it is no longer an 80-mile-per-hour, 90-mile-per-hour wind warning. It's just an 80, which is still bad. But definitely not as bad as it was before. So that's what we're currently seeing. 1 tornado warning active. Don't know why this keeps doing that, but okay. Sure. Still very slow right now. Yeah, it just said an error. Okay, I don't know. It's just saying it's lag behind. Just let me know if the stream's lagging. It might lag for a little bit, but it usually comes back. Yes, still have this tornado warning active. Still looking at this Georgia storm. It says tornado possible. I'm really unsure about it, but not as unsure as before. This is kind of building rotation, but it's really weak right now. And kind of broad. But that is interesting, how the storm is actually trying to do something. Even though they just took off the tornado possible tag on it, so that's interesting. I guess they were looking at this rotation before, like right here. You see it there, near South Moultrie. But this new rotation that's on the backside, let me see if that's connected to any reflectivity. I gotta see. That is, but it's. I think the main reason why they're not warning this for Tornado Possible anymore is because this isn't really a back-end vortex anymore. It kind of, like, got rid of its inflow. You see, it kind of merged with a line, and that's the main reason why the back-end inflow was there. It's not really there anymore, so I don't think we're seeing, like, much of a tornado threat anymore. I don't know. That was a weird storm. I'm not sure if it really had much tornado potential to begin with, but we'll see. We'll see what it does later on in the line. This is a main storm with tornadic potential right now near Hoxie, Kansas. Don't know why it looks like that. Okay, there you go. The hail core did seem to decrease slightly. So that is good news. The hail core is decreasing slightly. I'm unsure if these storms behind the main line are going to do anything. I bet not, but it is interesting to note that there is some storms behind the line. There is one that just developed near Pine Bluffs, Wyoming. I don't think it's going to do much, but it's starting to develop there. We'll see if there's any tornado risk with it, but I don't think so. I think these are really clogging much of the environment for these storms. Like these storms right here, of course. They're just going to continue moving on to the southwest, or south-southeast. I don't know why I never use this microphone. It's here. There's a microphone here, guys. It's with somebody else. Very active picture right now. But I will admit, very messy setup still. But not super messy. This is interesting. This little storm right here. See, it's kind of getting that shape. I don't think it's going to do... Let me see the environment around here. Alright, guys. Let's check this environment. I'm really doubting that there'll be any environment up here, but... I don't know. Maybe we'll see something over there in the far western panhandle of Nebraska. Let's see. It's capped, but not insanely capped. It's actually less capped than over here where these storms are right now. There is good shear over there. Pretty good shear. SRH. Not bad, not bad. I mean, Helicity change. It's kind of increasing in this area, okay. Level lapse rates. I don't know what these dashed lines mean. That's the problem, but... let me just see it. Maybe it says it on a key somewhere. Wait. Why is it not? Alright, well, here, let's look at a photograph here. Photograph. It's okay. This is fine, too. It's an okay environment, I would say. It looks okay. Like, the hodograph is partially curved. It's not really that high. It doesn't really go that high with the wind shear inversion, but I would say this is still a good environment. It's not anything crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if the storm tries to do something as it enters into the tornado watch, but it's a little weird. It's not in that main environment we were expecting. I'm not sure if storms were supposed to form behind the line. But we still have this major windstorm down here. I mean, I didn't expect anything to form there, but we'll see. We'll see. Man, these winds are getting intense again. You can see them. Kind of breaking the radar, but not anything insane. I mean, yeah, they've done this before, but I'm pretty sure this is just a radar product that later flaw or something. I don't think this is actually anything really concerning. It just changed color briefly, so I wouldn't say they're getting stronger or anything like that. It just looks like they're kind of changing color, like mixing up. This is severe one now. The storm right here in Pine Bluffs, Wyoming. I think it's Wyoming. I mean, it's right on the border, so it's kind of hard to tell. But in Pine Bluffs, Wyoming, there is a severe thunderstorm warning. I don't know why this isn't loading. Just give it a second. Yeah, I mean, the storm looks interesting, but it's kind of getting some mergers right now. So we'll see what it does. It's kind of remaining stationary right now. It's not really moving much. I mean, let me see this. It might be moving a little bit, but I gotta see. I don't know what's. I don't know why it's on winter weather radar. Is it raining outside? Wait. I hear. Oh no! It's just somebody on the treadmill, bro. I'm confused. Yeah, I mean, the storm doesn't look horrible, but you can see it's kind of getting blocked off its inflow by these mergers. But still a hailstorm, that's for sure. What direction is it moving in? I mean, I said it wasn't moving much. It's kind of moving to the east. You can see that. General motion is kind of moving to the east like that. You can see this severe thunderstorm warning near Hyannis just got extended for ping pong ball size hail. So there you go. That is a storm that you should be indoors and away from windows for. But we're still looking where these 80-mile-per-hour wind warnings are. Definitely not as strong as before, but these still can cause damage, and you still have to be in your safe spot for them. And man, these still are strong winds. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they re-upgrade. Oh, wait, this is high storm. Wait. I mean, yeah, this is still some strong winds, so I wouldn't be surprised if they re-upgrade to 90 miles per hour. This is still a pretty powerful storm. It's not moving much. That's one thing I will say. It's kind of remained at the same area for, like, the past few hours. Like, it's really not moving that much. It's kind of just, like, circling around itself. Like, you can see that here. It's just near the Hoxie area. It's just continuing to circle and circle and circle and so on. I mean, I don't know. It's just like staying put. If the several loads. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you see, it's barely moving. Like, it's moving a bit more to the southeast now, but it really isn't moving much, so I think that's due to the alpha boundaries or something like that. It's trying to surge, but it keeps failing. It's just, it's really, really stationary at the moment right now. I'm not sure if this is actually part of this line. It could be part of the same line, but it's kind of hard to tell. It's on some sort of boundary. There's no tornado potential with this, though, right now, at least. Let's look back here in Georgia. There's no longer a tornado risk, but still have a severe storm. And that's pretty much the only severe storm of its kind. We also have a severe storm back here in western Wyoming, which we cannot see because the radar is scanning through the mountains, so that helps. But, you know, just imagine it's a strong storm. Well, you can see it on this radar. It's kind of there. Just imagine it to be a strong storm. We still do have that tornado warning in effect, and man, these winds. I would not be surprised if this tries to get a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning again. It seems likely, but I don't know. I'm not judging or anything like that. I'm just, like, saying this is looking like this is trying to become a bit more widespread. Like, it's trying to head in this area. But really, is it, like, ever gonna reach Grinnell, Greenfield, and Park? It's, like, staying put right now. It's, like, right south of Hoxie. I mean, it's gonna reach there eventually, but, like, it's, like, zoned in on one area right now. Did they finally stop the music next door? It might have actually done it. Yeah, sorry. There was just music playing this entire live stream, and they might have finally stopped. So that means I might be able to go back to my normal area. I'll see. If I do, I'll just, like, close out my camera or something, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that yet. I still like it down here, it's just the Wi-Fi isn't that good, so that's why I'm not gonna stay out down here forever. Like, I keep getting buffers, so you guys probably keep getting buffers. I think they are still playing music, never mind. I was hoping, but, you know. Still no 90-mile-per-hour wind warning, but this is still a dangerous storm. Still very dangerous, so please be aware of that. Still has a lot of potential to it. Still have a 70-mile-per-hour wind warning out west towards Cheyenne, Wells, and Goodland. So also be aware of that. Be close to your safe spot in those regions. Yeah, the storm isn't looking good anymore. It looked good for like 1 second, and now you can see its influence being cut off by this storm near Burns. So that might try to form into another line that may impact Kimball and Sydney, but we'll see what happens with that. Let's check up on our cameras again. I guess we could try to find a camera on that storm in Wyoming. Sorry, wrong thing. On Wyoming. Here, wait. Let me get Wyoming 511. Just give me a sec. I hear. Still very slow. Let's look down here in Pine Bluffs. Let's see if we can see a storm. This is what it's looking like. I don't know if this is a picture camera or an actual camera. It's hard to tell. I think this is a picture camera. Here, let me see if I can find something a little better. It's weird. It's like it's saying that it would do something. But here, let me look at the Nebraska camera over here. Because you might be able to see. Yeah, this is also a picture camera. So, I don't know. We won't be able to really see that storm in video. We can see it, you know, in picture. You can see, like, a picture of it. But, I don't know. We could try. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we can see. We can see the storm over here. You can see some sort of storm. Oh, we lost it. We lost it. Wait, give me a second. Just give me a second. Is it glitching out again? Anyway, just give me a second. Give me another second. Yeah, not really. They did take out, like, a watch for this, like, 4-county area. So that was, like, a big hole. Well, this is a flood watch, so it's more than that. But, I mean, a flood watch still counts, but, like, you know. Jesus, keeps glitching. Oh, yeah, the cameras. I don't know why I keep forgetting. Almost been live for 2 hours, folks. Almost 2 hours right now. I'm doing it. Yeah, this isn't gonna do anything. You can see the storm, it's just... Oh, yeah, actually, you can't really. Here, let me see it, if you can see it from here. And I'll see if it's a video. No, it's not. But you can see the storm out in the distance. You can see those clouds. That is the storm. It's looking okay, but it's not anything crazy. It do have some eyes on the sky. And is this... What is this? Is this looking west or east? I don't know. Can't tell. Oh, this is looking east. So this is where the storm is. Okay, so we weren't looking at the storm before. This whole thing right here is where the storm is. I don't know if you can see my cursor. This whole thing. You know, I don't think you can see my cursor, actually. So let me just make sure. Yeah, you cannot see my cursor. I don't know what I'm doing. I thought you could. That's my bad. But I can't circle it because I don't have, like, that magic pen thing. Man, this hail core is getting strong. I don't know why it's still on for just 1 inch. Like, this is actually producing probably some intense hail. So I might actually be producing some big hail. We'll continue watching that storm. See, they severe warned the storm that's merging into the storm near Burns, so that's what it's currently doing. It's trying to form into some sort of line or maybe larger supercell type thing. A little cluster right here. That's generally what it's looking like right now. It's heading to the east. Also, very slowly. Very slowly indeed. Sorry about the yawning. Do we still have it? Yeah, we do still have the tornado warning active. It's supposed to expire in 7 minutes, so we'll see what they do with it. Huh. That's really deep into the storm, so I doubt that's anything. It's weird rotation signature. I think that's just heavy winds. It's hard to tell. But this should be warned for more. You can see it's kind of got a bigger hail core than what is said. They expired that Georgia severe thunderstorm warning, so. Still storms over here, though. They ever load. Is there a 90-mile-per-hour wind warning out there again? Wait. No. Still 80-mile-per-hour winds, but that's still something you should be in your safe spot for. Don't know where everything is going. This is just so glitchy. Okay, there's a severe thunderstorm watch thing here. This is elevated supercell has developed 65 to 80-mile-per-hour winds, 1.5 to 2.5 inch in diameter hail. It's part of the Nebraska Sandhills. The low levels are stable, but it's mostly the high levels that have all the shear and stuff. So there's going to be some wind with the storm, I think. It's going to be highly elevated. That's what it's looking like. They just made a mesoscale discussion on that storm. On these storms, still interesting. Don't know why nothing is loading here. Maybe I should close out of this and I don't know. Oh, well, this kind of loaded anyway. I feel like this should be another mesoscale discussion there, but whatever. I don't know. But yeah, we still have one tornado warning active, I think. Here, let me just check on weather-wise. I don't know if it's just due to how slow my program is. And they're still playing music next door, so I can't go upstairs. Yeah, no, there still is a tornado warning, it seems. And I think those mesoscale discussions are actually gone anyways. So. I don't know, they must have expired them. They do have a tornado warning still active, though, so. But I imagine it's going to be expired in the next 2 minutes. And then I'll be down with the 0 tornado warnings again. And just 80-mile-per-hour wind warnings. We still have that 3-inch hail possible. I mean, I'm not really seeing it anymore because that hail core has really gone away on the latest few scans. It was there briefly, but now it's mostly kind of, if there was a hail core, it would mostly be towards Gov City, Grinnell, and Grainfield. Still, once again, this storm is barely moving. It's like remaining in the same spot. I don't know what it's doing, honestly, but it's just remaining in like the same spot. Hello, Costco hot dogs. It's still taking forever to load. It's also due to me being on one computer. I mean, I think maybe I have too many tabs open. Let me just, okay, I can get out of this. That's a little better. You can see there's still some very strong winds with the storm, but not anything crazy. Let's see if we can get any cameras again. Oh, I'm still on that scene. Whatever. Is this a new scan? This is still like 10 minutes old. Let me see if they updated it. Okay, well, just bring me back to the main screen, I guess. Sorry if I'm becoming more witty as time goes on. Let me see this camera. Is this new? 1949. Okay. It's kind of old. Let's see Kansas again and see what that's showing. Let me see what the main winds for the Kansas storm are. Because, okay, it looks like the main winds are transitioning now to this Gov City area. You can see here. There's still some winds over here near Grainfield and Park, but it's kind of transitioning down south towards Gov City. I mean, it's not heading in that direction. It's heading more towards the southwest. It seems like it's actually moving now a little bit more. Not even towards the southwest anymore. Now it's more to the west-southwest. So, that's interesting. It's heading right into Gov City. So, just be aware, 80-mile-per-hour winds are heading right into Gov City. So, please be in your safe spot if you live in Gov City, of course. Okay, so we're now down to 0 tornado warnings because they just allowed that to expire. Yeah. I mean, this is just an 80-mile-per-hour wind warning right now. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm still gonna stay here, but I don't know. It seems like things are calming down a little bit. Unexpectedly, for sure. We were expecting a little bit more to happen with the wind threat. I mean, it's still 80-mile-per-hour winds. It's still definitely a strong storm. It's really remaining in one place, though. It's really not tracking that far. So that's very interesting what's going on right now. It still has a hail core. I don't think it's 3-inch hail anymore. I think this 1-inch hail is more realistic. But it's just entering outside of this tornado watch right now. So we're pretty much almost done with the tornado threat. And it's not going to be 0 when it enters the severe thunderstorm watch. Is this... I think this is a new watch, but I don't know why it was issued. I guess there's going to be more storms. I guess they're talking about the storms moving in from Nebraska. They're going to do something. These storms are interesting, but they look mostly elevated. They're still going to cause some good winds, though. Even though this one only is causing like 60-mile-per-hour winds. Now I changed my title. Interesting signature over here. Yeah. It's mostly towards Gulf City where the most of the winds are. Oh, the new SBC Outlook should be out by now. Let me see it. Should be out. Let me just take this away. I don't know if it is. If it... I don't know. We'll see. Still looks like we have enhanced just for some of Kansas, so... That probably is due to the winds, I would imagine. The several loads. So Salina, Manhattan, Garden City, Hayes, and Junction City are still in the enhanced risk. There still is a 5% SIG 1 hit tornado risk. I'm unsure if it's from those tornado ones, well, previously tornado warning storms, or if they're expecting more to develop. That might be what they're doing, and there might be still a tornado risk with the windstorms coming in from Nebraska. So that's interesting to note. I'm unsure if there's going to be any more storms that develop. We do have this one storm near Pine Bluffs, but it doesn't look very conducive for tornadoes right now. They're still expecting that tornado risk to continue. Of course, we still have the wind risk. That's 30 sig 1. Still the same thing. And then hail risk still exists too. No, this looks like the same outlook. Yeah, this is the same outlook. Okay, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? This is the same outlook as before. So, don't think we have a new outlook yet. I don't know what I'm saying. We have yet to receive a new outlook, it seems. Unless if it's just not loading. I mean, this looks new. That might be new. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to see. So slow. Music's still going on. Wait a minute. Let me look at this. Are you gonna load anything? Okay, here's the new convective outlook, actually. So this is the new one. There is a small 5 sig 1 for tornadoes. It still encompasses Haight, Kansas, but they're expecting most of that risk to go away. We're still expecting a small 5% to exist from most of northern Kansas, and a 2% around that. So, we're not really expecting these new storms to do much anymore. But there's still a tornado risk with them. It's just not really that prominent. And the wind and hail threat is still there, 30 sig 1 for both. But yeah, that's what we're generally looking at. And I mean, this storm looks kind of interesting with the hook here, but it's not all hooks are dangerous. I wouldn't say that. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to be it for me, because there's no tornado warnings active. There is an 80-mile-per-hour wind warning. I mean, let me just make sure there hasn't been any update to it. Yeah, there is still an 80-mile-per-hour wind warning, so still pay attention to that, but it doesn't look like this event is playing out exactly how we thought it was. I'm not saying it's underperforming. It's not really. It's still probably going to cause a lot of damage overnight, especially with the storms in Nebraska that are developing, but I don't think we're seeing as much of a threat as we initially thought we would. At least as much of a widespread threat. But even if there is, just know that I'm going to leave now, just before anything gets crazy. If anything gets crazy, I will come back on. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. If you don't know what the notifications look like, it's a bell icon right next to the subscribe button. Also, make sure to like this video. I don't care if it's like, if you really didn't like this video, fine, dislike. But anyways, guys, it's been a while since I've said this, but always enjoy the Morris data on the road and freeway. It's where you want to be for the rest of your life. Bye, guys.